Both divers were now trapped inside the cave. The exit route had collapsed under debris. Visibility was so poor that they couldn't even see their own hands. And now, they had only a few minutes of oxygen left at that moment. One diver went back to look for an alternate route, while the other stayed near the collapsed debris. 5 minutes later, when he returned, what he saw was truly unbelievable. Welcome once again to Factify TV. Viewers, cave diving is very different from normal scuba diving. In scuba diving, people usually dive in open water, where in case of trouble, a single push can take the diver straight to the surface. But in cave diving, there are solid rock walls above and on all sides, with only a narrow passage to move through. If oxygen runs out, equipment fails, or direction is lost, it's game over. Cave diving is the only sport with an extraordinarily high fatality rate. In swimming, there are about 1.77 deaths per 100,000 participants. In base jumping, that number is around 43. But in cave diving, there are 138 fatalities per 100,000 divers. Every year, 25 to 30 divers lose their lives in cave diving. And this number is considered small only because very few people attempt cave diving. Located in Florida, Sherlock Springs is like a maze. Some tunnels are dead ends, while others lead straight to death. The cave depth ranges from 80 to 120 feet. Water temperature stays around 22 degrees Celsius, and visibility is usually crystal clear. It was the morning of November 17, 1991. The weather was pleasant, and soft sunlight shimmered on the water's surface. Professional cave divers from the WKPP Woodville Karst Plane Project set out on a mission. Their goal was to explore new cave passages and create detailed maps. Among them were two newer divers, Bill and Parker. They were close friends, driven by a passion for adventure. For them, this wasn't just another dive. It was a chance to break limits and make history. Little did they know this journey would become the greatest test of their lives. From above, Sherlock Springs looks like a small circular pond, just 56 meters wide and 9 meters deep. But the real story lies beneath. Below is a vast limestone cave system, descending nearly 91 meters, filled with tunnels and chambers that feel like another world. It's part of the Wakulla Cave System, one of the largest underwater cave networks in the world. The entrance begins with a narrow passage called the Scars Restriction Zone. It's so tight that only one diver can pass at a time, with shoulders and tanks scraping against the rock. But once past it, an incredible scene opens up, like an underwater highway tunnel. Beautiful and deadly. That day, the WKPP team divided into 4 groups. The first group stayed at the surface to monitor the mission and respond to emergencies. The second group placed decompression tanks at key locations, the backbone of the mission. The third group handled guidelines and safety checks. The fourth group, the explorers, Bill and Parker, went deeper into the cave. Around 10 a.m., all teams entered the water. Bill and Parker checked their scooters and tanks, said a short prayer, and descended 20 meters. They met George from the decompression team. Soon after, they reached the Scars Restriction Zone and carefully passed through. They entered the Wakulla Chamber, a breathtaking space that felt like floating in open sky. Within 40 minutes, they reached Grand Canyon 4 and descended further. After 25 intense minutes, they arrived at the lower Wakulla room, where they found the route upward. Everything so far had gone perfectly, but noticing their oxygen levels dropping, they decided to turn back. When they reached the Grand Canyon turn again, everything had changed. Silt filled the water. Visibility dropped to 0. The cave no longer looked the way it had just minutes earlier. Following the guideline, they moved forward, expecting to reach the restriction zone soon. But suddenly, the path was blocked. A pile of debris had collapsed, burying the guideline as well. With oxygen running dangerously low, panic set in. Bill signaled Parker and wrote on his slate, "Stay here. I'm going to check the line." He went back to confirm the route, and it was indeed the correct exit. But when Bill returned 5 minutes later, Parker was gone. In the darkness, Bill frantically searched with his torch. Then he noticed a slight flow of water through the debris. He assumed Parker had gone through and followed. With oxygen nearly gone, Bill began digging with his hands. The debris was only 2 meters long, but felt like miles. He squeezed through and saw the tunnel sloping upward. He noticed a regulator hanging from the guideline, but ignored it, pushing forward while holding his breath. Finally, at 30 meters, he reached the decompression station and took a deep breath. Then he saw Parker's oxygen tank, untouched. Parker had never made it there. George soon arrived, and Bill informed him that Parker was likely dead. Despite resisting, Bill was forced to return to the surface. The next morning, Parker's body was found near the upper section of the cave, wearing only his wetsuit. Years later, investigation revealed the cause. Air bubbles from earlier decompression stops had weakened the cave ceiling. When George exited, part of the ceiling collapsed, triggering a landslide. Parker had realized the exit was correct and began digging immediately to save Bill, but he ran out of oxygen before he could warn him. Parker sacrificed his life to save his friend. If he hadn't cleared that path, Bill would have died there too. This story reminds us how unforgiving nature can be. Thank you for watching Factify TV. Please like, share, and comment. See you in the next video.